Yeah, I made I had an article already that I wrote before.
Yep.
And so I created that ad, and then I've got a web page that they click on it and it goes to the web page, and then they can download the article, and then there's a survey on there for them to complete as well.
Fantastic. It stuck out with me, that 5, because I know I used it for oh, you bastard, you. For everyone watching, he steals all of my ideas.
That's what I learned from President's Choice.
Yeah, like well played. Well played.
Their slogan was "Steal with Pride."
Yeah. And that seems to be carrying forward with the likes of Amazon and whatnot.
Yeah. Well.
Ah, very nice. And I like the picture.
Yeah, thanks. I got that from Snappa.
No, fantastic.
So I use a combination of Snappa and Canva.
Yeah, what's the deal with the background around 5 like that?
Oh, it's just because the original here. Did you give me share?
The original takes up the whole. It's like the
I just cropped it to fit in to this background format. That's why. Let me share my screen. No.
Go.
All right. So there's
I like the font, like old style computer stuff.
Yeah, this was just a template that Kajabi has.
Scroll down.
Yeah. So you can download that, and then you go here and you can do the survey.
New manager research.
So anyway, that's the my exciting big step for today.
Great stuff.
Because I actually had I have 2 more people yesterday respond to my thing on LinkedIn, saying so one person said they connected back to me and said they'll see if they know anybody and get back to me.
Yep.
And then another person responded, said they have somebody new in their team and they've given them my email address and they're going to email me. So we'll see if that actually happens. So, and then anyone who responds, I respond back to them and say, thanks for responding. Maybe you can answer these 2 questions for me. And I asked them the 2 questions about what they think the biggest challenge is for new leaders and what's the one piece of advice they would give to a new leader.
Yep.
So I haven't gotten any responses to those questions yet, but anyway, it's at least there's some sign of a pulse out there. So that's encouraging. Did you sell any more courses overnight?
No, I'm stuck in the next probably until tomorrow. I've changed some settings, and so 72 hours they put me on.
Right.
Changing. I should not have done that.
And did the people that bought it, if you checked if they've used it yet?
No, I don't think so. I received no emails or indication that someone has used it.
Right. It's funny. Last night when I set up that page,
I
have an email notification. When somebody completes the survey, I get notified. And of course, then I tested it out. Then I saw in my email, oh, I've got a response. I'm like, I got all excited, and I realized, oh shit, it was just my own test.
Oh man, that's crappy.
See my new mug? My new mug.
Let's see it. Oh, I know.
This is Han Solo. So it's a set I got for my wife. There's a Princess Leia one.
Yeah.
That says, I love you. And then the Han Solo one says, I know. That was the Mother's Day, one of the Mother's Day gifts.
Sweet, dude. Yeah, that's a good one. Especially if you're talking to somebody who's into that.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And I've got a peer coaching call today with somebody, so looking forward to that. I had another scheduled coaching thing on Thursday that the person now moved to Tuesday next week. So such is life.
Such is life, for sure. That's true.
And I added my Team UIP origin story video to my about page on my website based on what I talked about yesterday with Susan's page not having any personal photos or whatever. So I remedied that for my own page.
Let's see how it looks. Yeah, I like it. You climb mountains well.
So I just added this section.
That snapshot looks like it's a video from the 80s.
Oh, I know the thumbnail's not good.
This past weekend, I participated in a virtual coaching training called Thriving Coaches Weekend.
Problem is it's supposed to be a thumbnail and it's too big. I gotta upgrade that image. But
Interesting. Yeah, good job. You work fast.
It's so easy with Kajabi.
It's so easy with WordPress as well. Yeah.
I bought some new domains the other day too.
Like?
Because I did my my post for coaching called Coaching Please. So I don't know. I searched up if it was available, coachingplease.com. So I bought coachingplease.com and coachingplease.ca. So I don't know what I'm going to do with them yet, but I kind of jumped the gun.
Well, I've got a bunch of domains parked as well, so no surprise there.
Oh,
why such a deep sigh?
No, just I gotta do a bunch of research on Glide. I started doing it this morning, but so far what I found, you can't do notifications because it's a progressive web app. So you can't do. There's a one thread that talks about using Zapier to do notification emails. So basically what you would do is as you add content into your Glide table, Zapier can automatically identify that data has been added and then send an email notification to users. So right now that's the only workaround. So you don't really get an in-app or an on-device notification. You just get an email notification.
Okay, that's unfortunate. I thought that was only a limitation of the Apple iOS.
Yeah, there was something in there about it being there's a difference between iOS and Android, but I don't know what. I didn't get too deep into it as of yet. It's amazing though, like in the Glide community, there seems to be all kinds of there's lots of activity in there. So
there's also what? There's
lots of activity. Like there's lots of stuff. So there's a good user base to tap into. Like I would venture to guess anything that I could possibly think of, somebody else has already thought of and has posted something about it. So there's another clever one about somebody was asking about release dripping content to people, and they were saying in Glide basically you set up a table that has what date they signed up, and then you can set up another table that has the number of days for content to be dripped to them, and then you use it like a calculated field to calculate number of days from today's calendar date versus their sign up date. And then a conditional, if today's date is greater than their sign up date plus the number of days delay, then expose that data.
That's actually smart, and I like it because I understand that it's like Excel.
Yes, it's kind of a crude workaround, but it's just like it's like the way you would handle things on a spreadsheet or something, right? Like to reveal things.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool when you see all the creative ways people have figured out how to do stuff.
That's very nice. That's smart too.
Yeah.
Okay. I have this feeling as if I'm back to square one. In many respects, it's kind of like, okay, now what?
Yeah. Well, there's this new video I saw yesterday of how if you were going to start at square one, all the things you should avoid. Maybe you should watch it.
Say again. I know you were trying to crack a joke, but I missed it.
I was just saying, I saw a video yesterday of tips about how to, if you're a newbie starting out at square one, all the tips and things you should avoid, how you should create courses, and so on. I was commenting on your webinar yesterday.
Yeah, I figured that one. Because I didn't catch it because I thought you were referring to remember Coldplay's album X and Y? They had Square One, the first track on the album.
No, I don't remember that.
Yeah, and I thought you were like, yeah, you're like Square One. No, I seriously, I feel like so many things have been done.
Yeah.
More or less successfully.
So what does that mean in terms of, like, are you pondering what your next step is?
Yeah, I'm pondering if because there's a part of me that thinks, okay, let's create a mini course, like a 4-lesson mini course.
Yeah.
Start selling it just like the funnel, because as soon as I saw those 2 sales come through, like, dude, like I told you, both of them bought the bump. The bump was that first book, Start a Business, like that first PLR that they downloaded.
Yeah.
That never sold by itself, that never was a lead magnet by itself.
Yeah.
And then yeah, somebody bought the downsell, like, fuck. So 2 things, obviously 2 things are not something to write home about, but the principle of a funnel, I see that it's working.
Yeah.
There's absolutely no doubt.
Yeah.
And I know that in most cases, and I was very sincere when I was talking about this yesterday in the class. It's like, I tend to over-engineer stuff and think that I need to package like so much content into this.
Yeah.
But even like yesterday's course, it's an hour worth of content. I can package and sell that as a $9.99 thing.
Yeah.
Greg's like, yeah.
Yeah, and you could turn like each element in yesterday's thing, you could probably build content
around it, yeah.
Around each of those things, like expand on.
Yeah.
Like what platform to choose. Like you could do a deeper dive into that.
Yeah. I already have a course on my site. It's called Online 101. I built it as how to start your own WordPress website.
Yeah.
I can bundle it in easily.
Yeah. It's funny because I've been starting to think too, like as I keep creating content, and there's been a few times over the last couple of weeks where because I do a video on Monday and Thursday, but like on the Monday when I'm like, shit, I don't have time to make something right now. What can I repurpose? So like one of them was my information simulator. It was like part of my email sequence
Yep.
was a landing page with a video on it. So I just repurposed that video. But like I've got so much content already created. I can start doing what you just said, like think about repurposing, rebundling, repackaging, and how
Yeah, instead of trying to attract people, just sell it to them.
yeah. And I'm also, I mean, kind of what we were talking about, I think yesterday a little bit, is transitioning from content creation to selling and selling stuff before it's built. Like, you know, like you just said, I'm thinking of this mini course. Okay, well, go sell it before you spend any time building it.
Yep.
Sell it. And if you can't get a certain, whatever your threshold is, then you don't do it.
Yeah. And yeah, and most of the stuff is already available. It's incredible how shit. That's true.
I mean, the last thing on my list right now that I got to finish creating is the last few modules of this leadership for retail managers course.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to do I think I'm going to shift gears and do what I just said, is just,
Why not package that as a course that you sell?
well, I'm going to sell it. I just need to finish it for the purposes of the sale I already have.
Yeah.
So I've got the last module. Well, coaching is the one I've written the script. I just have to record it and build the slides. So I'm going to do that this week. Then the last module is bringing it all together, which is just a recap of all the 6 or 7 modules to that point. And then I have a bonus module for time management, which is just a repackaging of my time management module from Leadership for Teens.
Got it.
And then the course is done. So another, like this week and next week, and then that course will be done. I just heard on the news yesterday, they're talking about our stay-at-home order possibly being extended to June 2nd now.
I could have told you that without looking at the news.
Yeah, so that's gonna.
In fact, if I go through the videos, I probably have.
Yeah, probably. So that'll delay the launch of that again. But in the meantime, I can get all the ducks in a row for.
What the hell happened?
For selling. I know your camera just shut off. Now you're back.
That's very weird. I wasn't even touching my mouse. So maybe that is the next course. There's something holding me back from doing the analyst beta test. I don't know what. I have no idea what it is.
Yeah.
Should I sell it though?
Like sell it instead of testing it?
Oh, that goes against the grain. That goes against all of the methodology because I haven't done it in the past, so I don't know if it works.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the one thing I'm realizing, like, because I chose as part of my course that I'm taking for my practice audience is new managers.
Mm-hmm.
But I've realized the folly of my decision from the standpoint of virtually nobody in my network is a new manager. So it's a brand new, like I have to rely on my network to help identify people that are in that audience. So I should have picked something that was more directly associated with people I'm already connected with.
Such as?
To give myself a better chance. Well, just experienced managers as an example. Anyway, that's kind of one learning. So I'm going after an audience that's brand new to me and I'm brand new to them, which makes it a little harder, I guess. I don't know. And then the second part was kind of what you and I talked about before when I was talking about working with co-op MBA students and stuff, is just the, why do you want to target people at the beginning of their income level who don't have as much disposable income versus targeting people that are at a different life stage where they would have more disposable income?
Yep.
It's kind of like, when you get into real estate, like, why do you want to get into real estate and sell $200,000 homes when you could be selling $1 million homes? And I realized there's no such thing as a $200,000 home right now, but it was just,
I know it's a figure.
it was just an example.
There's not even a $200,000 condo now.
Yeah. But I mean, part of it, I guess, is just trying to work with a group that you're comfortable with and feel like you can help.
Interesting. The one thing that I do believe is beneficial. Hell, Greg, I don't know what's stopping me. I have no idea what's stopping me. Like, why have I been sitting on this second beta for 2 weeks now?
Yeah.
Okay, you're a coach. Come on, dude. Where are the coaching chops? Like, fuck, you have a goose behind you and some ducklings.
Here, let me get you into a more zen place. Here we go.
I feel better already. I feel the water coming off that rock, and it kind of brings clarity to. No, it doesn't.
Well, so in terms of your what you're thinking about with your analyst program,
Yeah, I see only benefits.
yeah. So, if you could wave a magic wand and have that course play out exactly the way you want it to play out,
yeah.
What would you see? What would you hear? What would you feel? What would you know to know that the magic wand had worked?
I would be in a position where I can be pinging HR and training departments of every company that has an analytics team, which is every company, and helping them either in-person coaching or through a course discover the reasons why their team is not as productive as they can be. And each individual on that team, should they want to, realize what is stopping them from advancing as fast or as slow as they feel they want to. That's my ideal state. So I'm just basically a guy everyone taps on the shoulders like, hey, we got this offsite. Can you come talk to us? Absolutely.
Yeah. So what's stopping you from doing that pinging right now? Like
fear of sales.
Okay.
You didn't expect me to be that blatantly honest, hey?
No, that's good.
Yeah, it's good.
So here's what I'm going to suggest to you. Are you thinking that you need to wait till you're not afraid of sales before you can do it?
Is this Jamie Smart talking or Greg Fisher?
Remember, fear is wetting your pants, and courage is doing lots of things in wet pants.
I don't like wet pants.
Yeah.
Somehow when you know the reverse of coaching, it doesn't sound as authentic.
Exactly. The purpose of the magic wand scenario for people is so like the way you already have answers to questions means you've already thought about it and you already have an answer. So when you get asked a question that you're expecting, you don't even have to think about your answer. You already have it.
Mm-hmm.
So the part of the challenge of this method of coaching is trying to come up with questions that you don't already have a pre-existing answer for in your database. So you have to actually reflect on your situation and come up with something that you hadn't thought about before. Because ultimately, it's coming up with a new way of thinking about it that's going to make the difference for you.
Yeah.
But is that fear rooted in what?
It's fear rooted in the imposter syndrome, because it feels like if I sell something that they don't have, then I won't be able to deliver.
Yeah.
But this is where kind of the circle completes, because essentially, if I ping someone and they say, great, I'd love to hear what others have said about this. Just
Yeah.
as imagine it's not somebody imagine I'm not pinging Parm, for example. I'm pinging somebody cold. I say, like, yeah, I would love to see testimonials.
Yeah.
That's where the beta comes in.
Yeah.
Like even right now, when I'm selling this mini course,
Yeah.
I have 5 testimonials on the page with pictures of people. It's not a lie. So when people go through that sales page, they're kind of like, I see people who have taken it.
Yeah. Yeah. So there, write that on your list. Number 1, get testimonials. So who do you know? You must have somebody in mind, whether it's Expressima or somewhere else you've worked.
Yep.
Where you could get, 3 to 5 people, or even if it's one person to start with, and have a conversation with them.
Yeah, I can go to Kizzer. He owes me big time.
There you go.
I can go to Ryan Huron. Yeah, I got a bunch of people.
Yeah. And I'm sure those folks would probably be like super happy just to hear from you, and would give you a half an hour of their time just to in the premise of catching up.
It's true. That's true.
You can ask them some questions. If it's people like Kizzer that worked for you, I mean, you could package up a testimonial of stuff you've already done with him that kind of aligns with what you're thinking for your course. That is a legitimate, true testimonial. Like, this is how Vadim helped me in my own career.
Yeah, and that actually creates. You got me thinking there, because I also would want to talk to people who did not report to me. That way, they will not have to reflect on that time and filter what they're saying.
Right.
Just need to do it. It's just, I'm actually interested and curious in working with people who I don't know.
Yeah.
Because I know the people I do know I know the scenarios and I understand what was going on. But it's interesting to see the revelations from people who, you're right.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm just saying
there's no reason not to do it.
Yeah. Never mind, park for a second the target audience of people you don't know. Because I'm kind of with you on that too, from my own regard, is like, when I started this business, I wanted it to be outside the scope of anyone I already knew. Because you know what I mean? Like, it's like the general public versus people I'm already connected with. Anyway, all I'm suggesting with the people you already know is that the quickest path to getting, like you said, testimonials is a roadblock for you, right? So the quickest path to get a testimonial possibly and get some insight into what people actually want or what need you can serve is to reach out to a few people that you know. Then you can figure out how to target the people you don't know.
Yep.
Beyond that.
No doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just I'm more saying it from an observation standpoint that I have been sitting on my ass and not doing anything about this for a long time now. Like a week, 2 weeks is a long time.
Yeah.
I could have already collected people and ran the beta.
Yeah. So what do you make of that?
By the end of today, I should already have done all of the things that I know I need to do.
Yeah.
And I know how to do them. That's the mind block stuff that it's what bothers me is that I'm not really creating excuses for myself. I'm not even trying to say, oh yeah, that's too hard. Oh no, I don't want to do it because I'm afraid. Like, I understand everything that's happening right now.
Yeah.
It's just I'm not doing it. Most of the times in my life when I'm not doing something, that it's not the right time, place, or project to do. It's kind of like universe is saying, like, yeah, I'm not going to give you the energy to do this.
Yeah.
But I also want to do this for another reason. I want to recoup my investment with this course. I want to prove that this works.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Well, in the spirit of coaching, we are at 9:30. So how about you give me feedback?
Sure.
So here's the structure. I'm actually going to share this so that it's easier for you to follow as well. So
You want
here's the
to keep
structure.
recording this or stop recording? What do you want to do?
Doesn't matter. Anyone's watching this and want to give me feedback, by all means, I'm here. You know where to find me. So the course, I haven't created a big name for the course, but it's a course to help technically savvy and analytically minded professionals advanced in corporate roles. I'm trying to stay away from things like career and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And maybe this is not the point. So if you have any ideas or thoughts, it's like, what does this feel like? And does it only have to do with progression in your role? Tell me.
Yeah.
So what is the milestones to get there? One, understand the paradigms of team dynamics. And yes, I stole the word paradigms from your course.
Yeah.
The secret art of asking perfect questions is milestone number 2. And the milestone number 3, monthly checklist of high performers.
Yeah.
High performers. Remember I said typos?
Yeah.
Why is more important than the how, and North American approach to career progression. And the reason I'm saying that is because I know that there's a bunch of people from India, Pakistan, who are looking to get into North American business.
Yeah.
Okay, so introductory lesson. So what?
So can I suggest one thing maybe?
Yes.
Maybe that is the number one thing, or the piece that you key in on the most in terms of your focus. Like the way you describe that, and I know we've talked about it a little bit before, but it's like going back to the cheese. What is the cheese, right?
Yeah.
Like if there are people from Asia and South Asia that are trying to, I don't know, break into or acclimatize themselves to how things work in North America.
Yep.
That's probably will resonate more with them than soft skills or understanding paradigms or, anything else.
So I'm gonna keep it as milestone number 3, because the way this works is this is the mini course. This is the signature course.
Sure.
And I don't want to give away the cheese as actually you're right. Now that you've kind of played it back, I do see that as a big, massive cheese.
Yeah. Yeah. And you don't have to give away like the whole piece, but is there a little nibble that you can break off?
Well, let's take a look at how this fits in.
Yeah.
So then you begin off with an introduction lesson. And the introduction lesson, as I said yesterday, is when you're breaking mold. So this is the surprise part. So what are we gonna breaking the beliefs about what is getting in the way? Certifications and tech skills get you promoted. Not true. You will be noticed if you just do good work. Not true. Saying yes is what management wants to hear from you. Not true. Challenging authority is not an option. Don't speak up until you have all the answers. It has to be perfect or you have failed. Are you smarter than your boss? I have to manage people if I am to grow.
Okay. I like that list.
Okay, so then we go into the mini course and have a very different promise, but a preliminary premise to the big course. The holding your what? What's holding your progress back? Questions.
I just make one comment for you.
Yeah.
For someone who said they haven't done anything about this, it seems like you've already done a lot of work.
This is it. That's the only page I've written in 2 weeks.
No, I know, but
That's 2 weeks. That's shitty work.
Yeah, I'm just saying that something. It's more than nothing.
Yeah, that's true. So what's holding your progress back? Questions a few analysts ask. So we go to first milestone, understand the paradigms of team dynamics, personalities and their MO, trust and ambitions, consensus, direction, and intervention. So what this all talks about is everything that people don't think about when they join the team. They think about the work, and they don't think about social interaction. For
Yeah.
technically savvy and analytically minded people, that's even less of a concern.
Yeah.
And I haven't worked out what these are, but just doing some research online, it's just, there's plenty of shit.
Yeah.
The question is, I want to turn this, as I said yesterday, not into lectures,
Yeah.
but into actionable pieces. Like, this is what you should be doing. This is how you should be behaving. I'm thinking of like the secrets of asking perfect question. Who is the owner of the project and what do they mean? Do
Yeah.
you know the following things about the project that you're working on? Like,
Yeah.
what's the goal of the corporation? You know the trickle down goals. How do you know that this project works towards that goal? Because if you don't know that project works towards this goal, you're going to be punished you're not punished, but you're going to be hung out to dry when review time comes around, because you're not going to be able to justify the hours you've spent on this. Anyway, consensus, direction, in intervention. This is all about how what questions people don't ask and decide to go with consensus. Like, what you should be knowing about quarterly business reviews, what you should be thinking and asking your manager and two of. And then that leads into the secret of asking perfect questions. So who's the owner of the project and what do they mean? In other words, don't take what is being told to you as fair game, because the person who's giving you the direction might not even know what the end result VP is asking.
Yeah.
Remember that presentation I showed you that I've done with Katie Tingley at one point in time?
Yeah, I think
It's
so.
kind of picking up from there. So I can use that as material. Touch points discussion. So weekly touch points, stand-ups, one-on-ones. What are you actually talking about? Because my experience has been with my employees is you start the one-on-one, it's like, so what do you want to talk about? This is your meeting. Well, I'm working on this project. So people talk about work. They don't talk about themselves. They don't talk about ambitions, and they don't ask questions.
Yeah.
That illustrate that you're actually interested and involved.
Yeah.
Do you know what your leaders think? And this is a fantastic question, because I know the answer. Have you ever asked your boss or your two up what's top of their mind and how do they feel? And no one has. No one has asked me that question ever. And I've managed a fuckload of people.
Yeah.
Because no one cares. But this is how you build relationships.
Yeah. Well, I don't know that nobody cares. I think there's two parts of it. One is nobody thinks about it.
Yep.
And two is if they do think about it, they're afraid. But
true.
it's
That's
to your
true.
point.
Actually, that whole term about being afraid is a good one.
Yeah, like I mean, what's resonating for me out of this whole thing is this notion that what are these incremental little things, like as simple as like the types of questions you're asking or how you're interacting in group settings or individual meetings that sets you apart from everyone else.
Yeah.
Right. Like you're one of 10 analysts and you're the only one asking about big strategic questions or what's keeping my boss up at night or whatever. I mean, one thing that came out that I thought about as you're going through some of this, like some of it is understanding and challenging the person who's running your group or your team in terms of not accepting what they're telling you and whatever. But it's kind of like you got to position it as like you don't want it to come across as being confrontational or being cutting against the grain of the team.
Where are you reading that into?
Well, that's just like when we're talking about who's the owner of the project and what do they mean, and don't take what they say as at face value or whatever. I just had this vision of like creating a situation where the person will.
This is I've used. I was trying to do it for theatrical effect, but more often than not, what you want to do is you want to be that sounding board that your manager goes to. Like feeling like you're in this together with them, like you're interested in the project. You're not just executing it.
Yeah. Like you want to be the go-to person. You want to be, and not necessarily the go-to person for getting work done, right? you want to be the go-to person for bouncing ideas off and more
Correct.
strategic things.
So then you go into so assuming people kind of gravitated, and then you say like, look, this is fantastic. You already are setting yourself apart.
Yeah.
In the signature course, which I'm not going to price at like a ridiculous $2,500, but $1,000, we're going to talk about how you progress in your career, annual goals trifecta. Make sure that your goals for each and every year include business, technical, and personal skills. And how do you set them? What do you mean by that?
Yeah.
Knowing when to quit and when to negotiate. Like how do you know that where you are right now is serving your purpose?
Yeah.
Looking out for number one. That I just left it at that because I ran out of ideas at that point in time. Monthly checklist for high performance. So check in proactively and what to talk about. Like, what is this? How do you do a one-on-one when you're discussing your performance? Not just weekly one-on-one, but how do you discuss your performance?
Yeah.
Strategy questions. How do you make sure that you're interested, understand, and can evaluate where the company is going and how that fits your needs? What is your plan for the next 3 years? Very difficult question. So thinking of it in terms of experiences and not roles.
Yeah.
And then
the lookout for number one thing jumps out at me as, I mean, going back to this whole North America thing.
Yep.
And it's kind of, I don't know if that's the sweet spot too for culturally shifting from thinking about the company and your role within the company versus looking out for yourself, right? Like it's not, I always think about it as kind of it's not a binary choice, right? Like you don't have to either submit to whatever the company wants or look after yourself. You can still be loyal to your company and work to progress the company's agenda, but you can also look out for yourself. I mean, this is a lesson I learned partway through my career where, when it serves the company's interest to think of you as a number and get rid of you, they don't hesitate.
Yeah.
So
neither should you if
neither
it
should
serves
you. Exactly.
Yep. Well, that's this gold. Like I interview you, I'm gonna ask Farmer. I'm gonna ask like a couple of people that I know already progressed to leadership positions to talk about this. This would be great.
Yeah.
And then why is more important than the how. Clarify, rephrase, and never assume. So this is understanding what you need to deliver. And that's for some reason that seems to be the weakest module of all.
Yeah. I don't know if it's captured in here, but like one of the experiences I've had with people is you get on a path of progression, which leads you to a fork in the road where you have to make a decision, right? Like, okay, I've hit the glass ceiling where I am. Do I just stay here and wait for the next opportunity, or do I go elsewhere? I think you may have caught it somewhere else, but it's kind of the, it's another fear factor thing where people work and strive to get to a certain place, and then they get there and then they kind of crap themselves because they're like, oh shit, now I have to make a decision.
Talk to me more about that. I'm not sure. It's like I was making this note because I remember having multiple conversations like this. Do you want to like have a general experience, or do you want to have a focused and expert experience? And those are two different things.
Yeah, and
they lead to two different.
Well, I just think, like if I think of Pressima as an example, right? Like part of the problem at Pressima is it's such a small company, and there's really nowhere to go. So, somebody has to leave in a manager or director role, or even a more senior role, in order for a spot to open up. And then you got to fight for those spots. So if you're at a junior level and you get to the point where like, okay, I've done everything I can do at this level, I'm ready to become a manager.
Yeah.
You have to make a decision. Am I just going to stay here and bide my time and wait till the next manager job opens up and hope I get it? Yeah. Or am I going to go out into the market and actively look, and if something comes up, am I going to pull the trigger and actually leave?
Yeah.
You know, like it was funny when I started at Pressima, and they talk about the employee engagement survey and stuff, and we always scored poorly in the longevity or tenure or whatever they called it. Like, you know, do you see yourself working here for more than 5 years, or whatever the question was? And we always got low scores on that. But like, we didn't even exist for 5 years.
Yeah.
So how, you know, it was a kind of an unfair, I thought, way of looking at it. And even
Yeah, of course.
For me, like I was there 7 years, but it was like there was nowhere left to go, and I'd already been through 3 associate director level jobs. Like, in order to get broader experiences in different things, I had to take lateral moves. Like it wasn't.
But then see, this is actually a very interesting part of the course. I don't know where to put it, but don't believe that. Yeah, it's one of those things. Is like senior leaders does not necessarily have not necessarily your best interest in it. They don't necessarily have answers to how you're going to grow, because their decisions are driven by business need. There are 2 more clients. Sure, there's plenty of roles to go about. There are no clients. Sorry, you're shit out of luck. You're going to do the things that you do. And for a person like yourself, who has been in 3 different roles and seen the company from 3 very different angles, for senior leaders not to take advantage of it. And yeah, I'm calling you guys out if you're watching this, but it's not smart. The same thing that happened with Ray, right? Ray was a director, right? But he was always was he a director, or was he an AD when he left? Don't remember. But Ray was always raising his hand and saying, "I want to do more. I'm capable of doing more." Yeah. And everyone said, "No, you're not ready." Well, fuck that. He went out. He went to what's that agency called?
McKinsey.
Huh?
McKinsey? Did he
No, that was later. But he went. Oh. He went. I forgot. It's a single word name. Traveled, coached, did analytical projects for casinos. Like, did some amazing ass stuff, and then was very successful. Unlike many who tried to join McKinsey at a very late stage of his career, by the way, which is not easy. So all of that imagining that senior leadership actually knows who has potential, that's not true, because senior leaders are also humans, and humans have flaws, blind spots, and blah, 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 many things.
Yeah. But a lot of like, I think part of it too, not discounting what you said, but the there's nowhere to put you either. Like in a company that size.
Yeah.
Like that's part of the problem you get, is that there's nowhere.
Yeah. And this is
there's nowhere left to go.
See, you and I there's passion about this subject, because that's a very interesting topic of discussion. It's management will want you to stay if you do a good job, even though it might be detrimental to your progression.
Yeah,
it's true. You'll be told, like, oh, don't leave, like something is going to open up. It's like, you have to, sometimes it's just not true.
Yeah.
Because there are so many things that we as humans do not know about the corporation's progression. I mean, like, God love Brian. I mean, he spent so much time on those stupid planes away from his family trying to chase down business.
Yeah.
Most of it didn't materialize.
Yeah.
But he sincerely went after it and tried to make sure that it's like he locks it in. Yeah. And so he was making promises to everyone fully. He wasn't lying.
No, I know.
He was fully believing in that something is going to click, and when it does, the following things will fall into place.
Yeah.
It's just that reality had a different perspective.
Yeah. Yeah. I was just thinking of something now. I've lost it.
Sorry.
It's okay. Oh, I remember now. So one of the co-ops I worked with, she worked on because at Loyalty One, they had all the co-ops. They did like a project or whatever every co-op term, and they presented to the senior leadership team, whatever. But they were doing something about career planning or something. Anyway, the conversation I had with her was about changing your paradigm of people's career planning and thinking of it more like a boomerang effect, and that you got to think beyond the constraints of your own business, and that really it's not like the probability that someone's going to spend their whole career in your business is foolish these days.
Yes.
And not, I mean, for a lot of reasons, but one of the primary reasons is you just don't have enough opportunities to go around for people. But what if you created an environment where people would start off, say, at an analyst level in your job, then when they're ready to become a manager, you don't have a manager opportunity, but you help them in some way, shape, or form to find those right opportunities out in the world.
Yep.
With the thinking that, culturally, you're building a culture of welcoming people back and encouraging people to come back at different levels. I mean, I saw that in food retail all the time. Like people that were below me on the hierarchy, they would leave Loblaws, go work somewhere else, and then they come back and they leapfrog me. And it used to piss me off because it's like, I stayed here, I was loyal, and I did what I was, thought was what I was supposed to do for the company, and I got leapfrogged.
Well, you're going to be a guest speaker for sure.
Yeah.
You have so much built up rage and anger.
There's inner rage, I'm telling you.
See, I like this subject. I'm excited about this subject, and yet here I am 2 weeks in.
And yet what? You haven't done it?
2 weeks in, haven't started it.
Yeah. So what is the one thing you can do today that gets you one step closer to where you need to
Post
be?
in every single Facebook group that I've already joined, like analytic groups, and invite beta testers.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to create content for this. Screw it. I'm going to do this live when people sign up.
And what's your cheese going to be for the beta test?
Good question. That was
the North America thing. Like the question that, like in the exercise we're doing now, is the questions are, let me just look at my thing here.
Oh, if you only had an app.
Yeah, it's what looks real to you, what looks important to you, what conversations are you having with yourself, what problems are keeping you awake at night that you'd love to solve, and what's your biggest surprise with your new role. So those were specific to new managers, but the whole notion of like what are the conversations that these analysts are already having with themselves around career progression. That's what the cheese needs to address. That, and I don't know. I'm just projecting myself into that whole North America.
I'm thinking the cheese is that why certifications and technical skills are not the traits that get you promoted.
Yeah. So the challenge on that one is that's true, but I don't know. I don't think that's a conversation they're having with their head. The conversation is more that they're having right now is, I need more certifications and more accomplishments. Like it's the conversation, like what you said is what the reality is. The conversation they're having with themselves is the opposite of that, which is the way
you're saying starting with the benefit. That's how to turn your certifications into meaningful career progression.
Yeah, maybe.
So just play it towards what they're thinking.
Yeah. Like, yeah, the cheeses get them in. You can fix the way they're conceptualizing it within the context of the course. Mm-hmm. But you need to align with the conversation they're already having.
Well, this is the thing. This is probably the reason that we've just stumbled upon why it was holding me back, is because again, I'm trying to perfect it to the point where I know all the answers before starting.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's keeping me back. I don't have a good name for the course. I don't have a good worked out proposition. And the more time I spend on it, the more I get into this endless spin. So
Yeah.
like, let's say if you have ideas, Greg, just shoot them at me.
Yeah.
Or I just go, oh, you know what? I should just, God damn it, I keep forgetting about this. I'll start another trial on copy.ai.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
But you know, the important thing is the cheese and not the name.
Exactly. And the one thing that I want them to start thinking about is, look, in order to advance in your career, in order to advance in your role, in order to advance in your position, you have to understand how companies work. That's the truth. If you don't, then you're hurting yourself.
Yeah.
But that statement comes from a place of fear and condescension. I needed to turn it from a position of benefit and opportunity.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm very bad at the fear and condescension, but not good at this.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the fear and condescension statement is, it's not something they're even conscious of right now.
No.
So it's not going to resonate with them. It's the, and I mean, this is the part I'm struggling with myself in terms of figuring out for each of my products what the actual cheese is. And that's why I'm trying to do this research on this new manager one. Like, you know, I'm just trying to think, like, what are the conversations they might be having it with themselves? Like, you know, I got another SaaS certification or another AWS certification, and yet I'm still doing the same job I was doing last year.
Yeah. How do you put that into a name of a course or a proposal?
Yeah, well, I don't know if you do it as a, you know.
But that's exactly what I was planning to use, like almost to the letter. It's like I have this. I'm a Salesforce certified. I have Azure fundamentals, and I was going to use those badges. As like, why does that not translate into?
Do you like the question is like, you know, do you have certifications coming out the wazoo, but you're still not getting ahead?
Well, what's the benefit? See, in Jenna's position, it's don't hit people with what they already know is the weakness. Like, give them the opportunity.
Yeah. Well, I'm just starting with a question. I mean,
okay. Give me the answer. Don't start with.
Well, I don't know. Did you do a tips like top kind of like? I'm just looking at my thing here, but like top 5 tips for turning your certifications into actual career progression.
Oh, I like that. Top 5 things. Yeah, and I can relate the number to the number of lessons. To turn your certifications into the next level. I want to stay away from the word career just based on what you told me about Facebook.
Here's another one. Just got another certification. Congratulations. But it's not going to get you where you want to go. Learn how to turn your certifications into, you know, or just trying to think like
a surefire method of turning certifications skills into not, how do you, what's the synonym for, okay, job progression. I have to play around with those two words.
Yeah.
But this is actually good
Yeah.
to stick into copy.ai and see what it
Yeah.
comes up with.
Yeah. You know, when you dream of where you're going to be in 5 years, do you have is the dream going to be you're in the same place with a long list of certifications, or are you actually going to be somewhere else?
Say it again.
When you dream of where you're going to be in 5 years, is the vision just you're in the same place with a whole list of certifications behind your name, or are you actually in a new place? I mean, it's a very crude way of wording it, but something along that line. Like, how do you connect with, like, you know, your dream, you know, your magic wand scenario isn't like, oh, if I could wave a magic wand in 3 years, I'm going to be doing the same job I'm doing today. I'm just going to have 10 more certificates. And maybe that is somebody's dream. I don't know, but like the reason you're doing this certification process is only in part to learn. The other big part is to progress.
Yeah. Okay, that's something to look into. Ooh, cool. Awesome. Thank you, dude. We're at an hour.
My pleasure. That's the I don't know. Brainstorming by yourself is such a hard
Brainstorming by yourself is a bitch.
thing. Yeah. So we should do more of this. Like, you know, we don't necessarily have to make it part of our morning call, but if, you know, if we did some brainstorming sessions every now and then, probably wouldn't hurt.
Yeah, I do believe that's valuable. It's even with those business ideas. It's interesting how things you stumble upon stuff that you didn't even think about in the beginning.
Yeah.
Thanks, Craig.
All right, man.
I'll tell you what today brings tomorrow.
I expect tomorrow to hear that you've done at least one thing constructive.
Yes.
One constructive step forward. I'm holding you accountable.
I'm holding myself accountable, I promise.
All right. See you tomorrow.